This president is more laser focused and more dialed in on domestic issues here in the homeland than any president in memory.
I just had this done. You're getting a first glimpse, but that's your size compared. So those are compared to, those are among the tallest buildings in the world, including the Empire State Building. Don't know that in Paris, France, the Eiffel Tower, 1889 it was built. It was supposed to be taken down immediately after the World's Fair. And then they said, you know, we sort of like it. Well, they never took it down. And, you know, we're building something in front of the White House that's quite attractive to a lot of people. It's going to have the big UFC fight on June 14th. And I'm looking at it and maybe we'll never, ever take it down.
You know he's in desperate need of a distraction when he's posting videos like this, which means that negotiations with Iran are likely in the toilet, so it's best to rile up the base with more spectacle over any substance. That's right, the president appears to have found a solution to the country's problems at the moment, not by lowering prices, not ending the Iran war, not finally offering the Obamacare alternative that he has been floating for about a decade. His new genius idea is apparently, what if the White House had a permanent UFC arena? Trump compared his tacky UFC arena to the Eiffel Tower in a new Delusional video, teasing that it might become permanent at the White House, saying, quote, maybe we'll never ever take it down.
Don't know that in Paris, France, the Eiffel Tower, 1889 it was built. It was supposed to be taken down immediately after the World's Fair. And then they said, you know, we sort of like it. Let's leave it up a little bit longer. And then they said, let's leave it up longer and longer and longer. Well, they never took it down. And, you know, we're building something in front of the White House that's quite attractive to a lot of people. It's going to have the big UFC fight on June 14th. And I'm looking at it and maybe we'll never, ever take it down.
This was captioned in a TikTok video referring to the massive open-air structure that he has erected as part of a UFC extravaganza on June 14th to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday, but more importantly, his 80th birthday. Don't tell Marco Rubio he's 80 because he never falls asleep during his conversations with Marco Rubio, right?
You have been at multiple meetings with President Trump. In a moment, I'm going to show you a video of one of these meetings. It is from last December. It's a cabinet meeting. I'm going to ask you to focus on President Trump, and you will see that he is sleeping while you're talking.
Oh my God.
Please show the video.
Products they make and what American farmers grow and produce has a fair shot to be sold around the world. On issue after issue, that's been the case. You talk about foreign aid reforms. This is not our money. This is taxpayer money.
Secretary Rubio, have you been at more than one meeting where President Trump has fallen asleep?
That's false. That's false. I've never seen him fall asleep. On the contrary, the guy doesn't sleep, which is a big problem because he calls me at 2 in the morning. He calls me at 5 in the morning. And, you know, I like to sleep a little bit, maybe not 12 hours, but at least 6. So he works. The other day he was at the Oval Office until 12:30 p.m. 12:30 a.m. I don't know what you're talking about.
Secretary Rubio, I'm going to show you in a moment a video that shows you just lied to Congress.
Oh, okay.
So this is a video of a cabinet meeting literally from last month where Donald Trump is sleeping while you're talking. Please show this video.
A coalition of countries that line up behind the peace deal, behind the border peace, and it's still every day is a challenge, but it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's not our war. It's not the president's war. This war started. It never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it.
You are literally talking about issues of war and peace, and Donald Trump is sleeping right next to you.
No, he's not.
If Donald Trump cannot stay awake at these important meetings where the cameras are rolling, imagine what he's like when the cameras are not there.
Now, I'm sure the MAGA contingent will rush to say that he's joking, just like he was joking about running again, just like he's joking about putting his face on the $250 bill, and just like he was joking about punishing dissent. But the arena is being built for what is called UFC Freedom 250, and despite being an eyesore, even UFC royalty like Joe Rogan isn't thrilled about the whole thing.
The White House thing is odd. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of fighting outside at all.
Well, there's problems with it.
And then
done it too many times.
June, and it's DC, and we looked it up. The last time, like last year, same day, it was 100 degrees.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
hot as fuck.
Then you add the
yeah.
lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lights.
You add the lights.
Yeah,
that attracts bugs.
They were talking about maybe using fans. Is that enough?
No, it's not
You got
enough.
bug strips everywhere. What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to stop the bugs? I just don't think that you should compete in a world championship fight in a non-controlled environment.
Yeah.
I think it should be inside an air-conditioned arena. It should be a controlled environment. Just like you don't ask someone to do any of that. You wouldn't ask them to play a world championship basketball game outside in the sun. No. That would be crazy.
The problem isn't just the physical structure, right? Whether or not it may ever be taken down. But remember, Obama was ridiculed for wanting a basketball court. But it's very much to do with the timing and the optics of such a celebration. Despite what Trump likes to project, the country is struggling. Americans are facing an affordability crisis. The Iran war is still weighing on gas prices and household costs, and polling shows that voters are absolutely furious about the state of the economy. And Trump's answer continues to be spectacle. A UFC fight, a giant ballroom, a possible triumphal arc, gold-plated aesthetics, flags, screens, military flyovers, and now maybe a permanent cage fighting arena on the White House lawn.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing.
They just had this done. You're getting a first glimpse, but that's your size compared. So those are compared to. Those are among the tallest buildings in the world, including the Empire State Building, World Trade Center, Sears Tower, Chicago. So if you lay it on its side, you take 2 or 3 of them to fill it in, because the width is almost 200 feet wide.
Report, okay.
Yeah.
Lauren, you got.
Okay, so April saw a big jump in inflation tied to gas prices. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge hitting 3.8%, in line with expectations, a 3-year high, and a big step up from 3.5% in March. Okay, take out energy, take out food, your core level, a more modest 3.3%. Bottom line here is the report is little comfort for those hoping the Fed would cut rates, and little comfort for those on Main Street. Inflation is wiping out wages. If you looked at the income levels last month, flat, spending levels way up. And then we got the GDP read, the revision for the first 3 months of the year, revised down to 1.6%.
I mean, he's quite literally treating the presidency like it's an episode of The Apprentice that needs a hook and a cliffhanger. And the reason this matters even more is that, well, the broader America 250 celebration has already been struggling to garner any sort of support or enthusiasm. And even for participation, multiple artists and performers have repeatedly pulled out or just avoided participation in Trump-linked celebration events.
It's a little weird. The White House lawn belongs to the country, and therefore putting something that's essentially for the current incumbent's birthday party is not right. And that it's part of what seems to be like turning the city as a tourist here into a building site.
But the thing is, what's more important, and I want to specify in every video we do discussing this UFC extravaganza, is that we don't get distracted. Because while he is talking about making the octagon permanent, whether it's a joke or not, or sharing renderings for his new ballroom, spending taxpayer dollars, coating everything in gold, he's also overseeing some very real and heinous acts that nowhere near enough outlets are covering. Over the weekend, you may or may not know, but the US bombed yet another alleged drug boat with just no evidence provided to justify the capital punishment. I mean, it barely made the news. It's as if we've just accepted hurrahs from Hegseth as a valid reason to execute people without due process.
The United States Southern Command is releasing video showing a strike on an alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific, killing 3 people last night. The vessel was described as being operated by designated terrorist organizations. The 3 suspected narco-terrorists who were on board were all killed. No U.S. military forces were harmed, according to Southcom. So on Wednesday, NBC News reported that Southcom struck 2 other alleged drug boats in the Eastern Pacific in separate strikes.
And again, nobody seems to be covering it, but we are, us and a few other independent outlets, we are doing our best to sift through the distractions, taking them serious because best believe Trump is, but reporting on the goings-on behind the smoke screen, things that he wants to hide behind spectacle. That's the whole point of it. He wants Americans to focus on the things that hold no weight, no substance, and don't make their lives any better. Events like this won't lower any costs. It won't bring about peace. It just makes the White House look more like a theme park for one man's ego.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.